Today's episode of the Feral Podcast is brought to you today by Talbot's Tap Room and Terrace. Talbot's Tap Room and Terrace, 787 Mercer Grove City Road, Mercer, PA. Dining hours are as follows: Monday and Tuesday closed, Wednesday and Thursday 12 to 9, Friday and Saturday 12 to 10, and Sunday 12 to 8. For reservations, please call 724 269 7687. That's Talbot's Tap Room and Terrace, Mercer, Pennsylvania, 787 Mercer Grove City Road. And now let's start the show.
Welcome to season 2 of the Feral Podcast, episode 10. I am the leader of the Ballhead Nation, the mayor, the landlord. Matter of fact, the United Ballhead Nation. I just forgot. We got our papers last week. They came in. They
They
came.
didn't unionize
Yeah,
y'all.
that's right. That's right. The United Nation of the Ballhead Nation. That's right. But I am the landlord, Mark P. And to my left, we have the lovely.
Hello, I am April Torrence, affectionately known as Dr. T, and I am excited to be here today on the Feral Podcast representing Zion Education Center, which is my nonprofit of 30 years and all the other entities that I'm tied into. But thank you for having me.
Yes, yes, yes. And that's Dr. T, not Mr. T, but she still paid the fool.
That's Dr. T.
Dr. T. Yeah.
And it's your man, DJ Rich Stacks, King of the Big Macs. Want to give a fast shout out to Dr. Torrance for coming through and gracing us with your presence. Truly an honor to have you here on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you. How was your weekend?
Oh man, I had a lovely, lovely weekend. The family came through. We had our annual cookout at Uncle Sonny's out in Hadley.
Uh-huh.
Fast shout out to Uncle Sonny, my cousin Torrance. Fast shout out to my cousin Tanisha, Sonny's wife. Fast shout out to my sister, my nieces, my nephews, mom, everybody that was in attendance. We had several slabs of ribs, brisket, uh, beef sausage, hot dogs, hamburgers. My cousin Torrance had that big, big, big smoker. He had we ate over like dozens and dozens of corn, man. It was just phenomenal.
Was it the sweet corn?
Oh my gosh, phenomenal. Oh, beautiful fireworks display. It was like a festival out there. So fast shout out to the Petersons, and we had our annual cousins reunion. Everything was lovely. So my weekend was oh, and then at the
Oh,
end,
yeah, yeah.
we had yesterday, we paid tribute to Mom Dukes, which her birthday is July 10th. So we celebrated her for her 80th. And, my nieces and nephews, the sons and daughters of us, her five kids, they showed up and showed out and put together a lovely, lovely little party for my mom in the community room down at her place. So fast shout out to Miss Lois. Hey, Miss Lois, turned 80 Wednesday. We love you.
Happy 80th, Ma.
Yes, happy.
Yes, yes. Miss Torrance, how was your week?
My weekend was a 4-day weekend because of the holiday, so we
Oh,
were
yeah.
closed.
That's always
And as I
nice.
was sharing earlier, my husband and I and my daughter, we went up to Buffalo and then to Niagara Falls, checked out the Galleria Mall in Buffalo, which was
Nice.
amazing, and
Mm.
then journeyed to the falls to just look at nature there and appreciate the Underground Railroad and where our people were able to enter into freedom, crossing over to that Canadian border. So that was my Independence Day celebration for them.
Uh-huh.
And then, of course, went down to the Veteran Square. There was an event there for Valley Baptist Food Pantry, and the food was amazing. And Unc's Grub was on the scene.
Oh,
Oh, missed out. Oh,
We had our barbecue too.
okay, nice.
So that was
Lovely.
good, followed by church. I go to New Life Family Worship Center in Franklin
mhm.
and been there for 8 years. Had not been in the last 3 weeks because I was in England. So it was good to be back in fellowship.
Well, that passport is getting tattooed up.
Mm, golly.
That's my future aspiration. I got two more left on my current passport, and I'm trying to go on another cruise pretty soon. Yeah, I like getting outside of the country to see how everybody else is living.
Right, right,
But
right.
my weekend, pretty dope weekend. I got to enjoyment. Of course, we had the Fourth of July, ate good, cooked two slabs of ribs, some chicken hot dogs. But Friday, I was fortunate enough to go down to the Pittsburgh Improv and see one of my favorite comedians, Chico Bean,
Yeah, that's my guy.
and the seating was so excellent. When he walked out, he almost tapped my son on the shoulder, like walking past, and it was hilarious. Had the pleasure to do a wedding over in Youngstown. Fat shout out to the Ashley, Mr. and Mrs. Ashley. Thank y'all for entrusting me with y'all wedding reception and the ceremony. In mid ceremony, he broke out in the song "Sun," "Ribbon in the Sky" for Our Love by Stevie Wonder.
Oh,
And he
congratulations,
laid it
Ashley.
out.
Congratulations.
Shout out to Kenneth Ashley. You laid that song out, bro.
Nice.
And also, I'll be a little remiss to say I had to attend my cousin Lemuel's going home service, which was held at Valley Baptist, and it was good to see my family. But you always want to see your family in more of a
Joyful.
better light, joyous occasion. But to remember Lim, to know him, to love him.
Yes.
Everybody was talking about the fish, the world famous
Yeah,
fish.
yeah. Much love.
Guys can lay
Shout
the
out to
fish out.
Limbio.
You
Yes.
know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
Got it from his mama.
yes,
Yes.
true indeed, true indeed.
Yeah.
And that's a talent that the Hughes family carries on to this day, but nobody can cook that fish like Lim.
Yeah,
And
man.
Cuz is going to be greatly missed. Hence the afro. I took the dreads out. I'm going to rock an afro because
Mhm.
they showed a picture of Lim in his younger days with the afro. And fat shout out to
Pastor.
Pastor T,
Mhm.
yeah, for such a beautiful eulogy. But that was my weekend. Yeah,
Dope, dope
pretty
stuff,
exciting,
man.
dope filled weekend
Like you said, fast shout out and RIP to
to
Lim,
Lim. Yes, sir.
some of the best fish that you ever want to taste, man. And
Yeah,
I'm hoping and knowing that, he passed down that recipe to someone else and someone can, keep carrying on the good fish fight, but like you said, I don't think no one probably could ever emulate that. But,
nah.
you know, much love and respect to good old Lim, man.
Like
He
Dr.
throws
April
down
said,
plenty of big
he got
nicks.
it on us because yeah, tastes
Miss
exactly.
Hughes used to
Yes,
cook the fish over at Golden Dawn in Brookfield over on the hill.
yes,
What?
ma'am.
So that's where we would drive and eat it.
Okay.
Uh huh.
So he got it honest.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Good old Lim.
Yes, sir.
Bro, what you got for me in the worldly topics today?
The
What's
worldly
cracking?
topics is something that you really don't like me to talk about, but I like y'all to be informed. Yeah, we got to fasten our seatbelts. This is one of the most critical elections we got coming up, people. It's a lot on the table. I'm not just talking women's rights, reproductive rights. I'm not just talking about civil rights legislation. I'm talking about they're trying to actually, Supreme Court has set forth to make the presidency basically a dictatorship. And it's starting to get scary. Um, if a felon could not possess a license to have a weapon, how could that individual be the leader of the free world? It's like they're setting and laying the groundwork for something that's scary. And I think regardless if our current president, mental state, yeah, we need to decide that amongst the Democratic Party. And I'm actually leaning towards maybe having caucus with inside the debate this year at the Democratic convention to elect somebody because it's starting to get scary. Both candidates are scary.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Again,
yeah,
yeah.
again.
Once again, the lesser of the evils,
yes.
Yes,
and they
exactly.
both have agendas, And last week you touched on what was the name of the one agenda last week?
Agenda it is 25. It's basically a manifesto set forth by the Republican Party stating the initiatives and the things that they want to take place when 45 becomes 47. Um,
And then recently, I just sent you information about Agenda 47. So that's two different agendas, but people need to be aware and, get ahead of it and tap in and look into both agendas. It's Agenda 47 and Agenda, what's the other one, brother?
Agenda 25. It's named something else, but I call it Agenda 25 because it's all the rules. It's basically a manifesto. They want to strip the Department of Education fully. They want to take Social Security and turn it over to Ponzi schemers, basically, and use that money to even further fatten their pockets. That's my personal belief, from my understanding.
Yeah, and we'll see. To me, both parties have agendas. on the Agenda 25, Agenda 47, we stand to lose something either way. We stand to lose something from each party. So people just need to be prepared mentally and tap into their resources. And within our community, you know, within our ethnicity or ethnic group of people, we just need to get out and vote, period. Because each and every time people always come with that, oh, I'm not going to vote. Oh, it's not going to make a difference. Oh, it most importantly and directly does. It
Yes.
affects you, especially like we always say, locally, for sure. The school board people, the city council, the judges out in Mercer, we control that by voting. You got to look into the candidates. And it's time for people to start doing the research on the candidates that's coming up for these seats out here for the courthouse and stuff. We need to pay closer attention to that,
Yes.
and start getting maybe get people lined up. It may be a young person from our community that we know has the potential to sit on one of those seats one day. Why not start grooming them and talking to them and try to get them lined up to potentially take over one of these seats to make a difference for us within our community? 'Cause it's time for us to see some people that look like us out there as well.
So here's
True
the
indeed.
key. I have a 20-year-old, the baby girl,
Yes, ma'am.
and I couldn't. She has a voter's registration card. She just
Mhm.
wasn't interested. She wasn't buying into what I was selling, which was told to me. Our ancestors got beat down so that you
Yeah,
have a
that.
right to vote, right? So
Yeah,
that worked for
yeah,
my generation,
right.
but this generation, that's not working. They want to hear real issues that are on the table. If you want to get them out to vote, tell them what they're going to cast that vote for. If they want to stand on human rights, if they want to stand for pro life or
Yes.
pro choice, whatever you are,
Uh-huh.
pass that vote. Get them to vote on issues and not just because grandmama said that you had to go because great grandma got beat down so that she could cast her vote,
Her
right?
vote.
Or suppress the vote. So
Right.
we have to change our dialogue to get the young people to buy into what's happening in the political arena. And I learned that from my daughter and
Hmm.
my best friend, who actually was more instrumental in reaching her, by talking about voting on those topics.
True. Yeah.
True indeed. And I think they did. We seen that when, I don't know if that was the first or second time with Obama's campaign. You seen him engaging into the youth with certain topics and agendas, and he was able to mobilize them to come out and vote. We seen that then, but I
Yes.
can't quite remember which
I think
presidency
it was
that was.
both terms. It was
Yeah,
instrumental in him reaching out to the younger demographic to secure that victory both times. Because if it
right,
wasn't for the younger demographic, he probably would have never become president.
You're right. And there was some popularity just because he had a BlackBerry back
Yeah.
then, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah,
so
yeah,
that's how
yeah.
he was reaching
I
the
miss my
younger
BlackBerry.
generation. He identified with what was valuable to them. That was technology was a value, and
Uh-huh.
it worked. He mobilized a whole nation.
Most definitely
True
did.
indeed.
Most definitely.
But one of my biggest fears is that with the current president in the situation that he's in, that it's going to hurt the down ballot. And the Republicans will not only get the White House, but they will get the House and the Senate also. And that will be really, really
Scary.
like detrimental to all the progress that we made in civil rights, women's rights, LGBTQ rights, like all the rights, basically. For
Mhm.
every demographic, they're just trying to strip it down so the rich, my personal opinion, that the rich will get richer and the middle class is already gone. It'll be the working poor.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I see it. I see it. But as long as we try to do our thing and get together and get out there and do what we have to do, we still stand a fighting chance.
Yeah,
We
true
still
indeed.
stand a fighting chance, man. So
Like you said, it's more local than anything has a direct impact on your day to day life.
Yes.
Yes.
yeah, yeah. So we gotta just get in some of these young folks' ears. And like you said, we have to come down and just more so listen. It can't be the old way. Oh, why? Because I said so.
Yeah,
You know what I
true
mean?
indeed.
Wrong
And that
generation.
that
Yeah.
kind of that kind of throws to my next talking point, which is Busta Rhymes at the Essence Fest. He went ballistic because the younger generation were on their phones during his performance. And this now, granted, this was his first performance at the Essence Fest. He's been
Right.
in hip hop. His career spans 30 years. 3 decades is a lot of time.
Right.
And I believe it commands respect. But the tirade that he went on live TV, because this was also being simulcast live to people who paid for it on pay per view, was kind of sketchy and abrasive.
Well,
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Miss April, did you see it? Did you catch any of it? The little viral clip of him snapping out because
I
people was like wasn't giving him the feedback he thought he should have got.
didn't. I saw a clip, but it wasn't the irate
the irate.
clip of it.
Oh man,
Got you.
Mm-mm.
it was a mess. It was a mess. And to add to that, um, feel that you know, okay, one, boom, yeah, you wanted to add that to your resume before you finally went to sit down, whenever that may be. Like he said, he's never been invited. It was a shot. Boom. Okay, I get that. But like with Red Man and Method Man, that Summer Jam,
Yeah,
sometimes you got to understand who's out there in these crowds now, who's the demographic that you
it's
entertaining,
definitely
and
key to know the
consider that
demographic.
and know and understand before you step on stage. It's a good chance that
Gotta know
it
your
might
crowd.
be a
Yeah,
younger crowd and they might not be feeling me like how I think they should be receiving me.
yeah,
So am I gonna go ahead, still commit to this and pick up this money for whatever they're paying me? Are you gonna do that, or are you just gonna react negatively like Buster Rhymes? At least, Matt Red Meth is like they just went on ahead, didn't do the tirade on stage, but after the fact,
yeah.
people
They
asked
paid
him about
attention.
it when they seen it. They was like, well, nah,
It's my last time.
it's my last time. I'm not
Yeah,
doing it no more because and they communicated as we understand. It's a different crowd.
yes,
Yes.
At least they understood. Buster Rhymes, he snapped a little bit. He was cussing, but yeah, he got to understand too. Like I said, it's a different crowd.
yeah.
So with that, is you gonna accept that it's a chance they might not feel me, but I'm gonna still get the money, and this is for me. I'm checking the box off for me.
Check off the checklist.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? You
Yeah,
know?
you know, and it kind of harkens back to what Dr. Torrance was saying about your daughter voting. You have to capture that demographic. If they
Yeah,
don't, this we're in the TikTok generation.
right,
Memory span is short. Like
right,
Mm-hmm.
something that was hot 3 days ago is not hot now.
Mm-mm.
So
right,
you gotta be on their wavelength in order to get that
right,
respect that you feel that you deserve.
right. Anybody that's watching, all the live viewers, what do you guys think? Tap in, leave a comment about how you feel about how Buster Rhymes react. Did he overreact, or was he rightfully mad, and you guys think that he was in his right to blurt out
Valid
like
in
that,
his yeah,
and how he
reaction.
handled that? You know what I mean? Let us know what y'all think. Let us know what you think. Tap in, leave a comment, and engage with us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And also, y'all tap into that new Facebook page. It's
Oh
called
yeah.
the Feral Podcast Family on Facebook. Tap
Yep.
in if you selling uh anything, providing a service, want to give a family member or child a shout out, anything. Please feel free to
Birthdays,
hop on there.
graduations.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Hop on there, share, post, comment, like. Because here at the Feral Podcast, we're here to inspire, motivate, educate, and entertain.
Entertain.
All right.
True indeed.
Yes,
I'll
indeed.
have to go back and watch the clip. So he lost control, huh?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
lost control, and it was in my summation. It was overreaction because, like Juan said, you got to know your crowd and your demographic. But
yeah.
yeah, it's
I mean, he at least could have probably had his DJ, like I was saying with some people I was talking to yesterday, just like played some of the newer artist beats
it said his
did
rhymes
do that
over.
and said his rhymes over it,
Yeah,
and then just meshed in and just met him halfway. As long as you get him the bop and like, okay, yeah, and then you say your lyrics, they're moving. The bodies is moving and they just up out their seats. So yeah, sometimes you just gotta outthink.
yeah. But not only the young generation, I also find that our generation does this a bit too much at like events. You're more on your phone than you are spending. I got maybe 3 pictures before the Chico Bean
Right, right,
event. I have no pictures on the inside when the show started because,
right,
for one, they don't allow you. And for two, I was too much engaged with the activity that was going
Mm-hmm.
on the stage. So
right, right,
it's a
right.
catch 22 nowadays.
Yeah. Miss
Yeah.
April, how are you at events? Like, do you
Hello, son from Phoenix, Arizona. Hi.
Tomorrow she's not cutting up too bad. You try to, you know what I'm saying? No, no, no. I know. I'm just saying. But she
She
made a
said
comment. She
earlier,
came on there
don't be
on the
cutting up
reel and
too much.
commented, "Don't be on there cutting up earlier." So I'm getting out ahead of that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
My
Right.
kids, my grown kids keep me in check.
Yeah,
For real though. Really, really, really keep they stay on me.
well, it's like
Yeah.
that sometimes. You know what I mean? Sometimes, the adults become the kids. My son be trying to check me all the time, and I'm only 49. But yes, yeah, it starts. It starts at an early age. They own you. They own your head early.
Yes.
You know how it is though. They mean well. They mean well.
Sometimes they're right though.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
My son is like,
He's
But you doing a heck of a job raising them and have raised, because all of them are business entrepreneurs,
yes.
thriving.
true.
Praise God.
Everyone's pouring back into the community. Even your son, from where he is, he's giving back. Always have gave back. Your daughters, that everyone's doing great. They come from good stock,
Yeah.
They're
as the old folks used to say. They from good stock.
they are all uniquely different,
Mhm.
but a blessing. Brennan's pretty cool, calm, and collected. Like, what's up, y'all? And Tamara's like, hey,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Of course.
and the baby girl is like, "Mm." That's it. So I just, from early on, when we were back in the Shenango Park days, when we
Mm,
were in Shenango Park, and they wanted to do something. At that time, I was a single parent, so I was struggling like the rest of them. So I had to teach them how to be entrepreneurs.
mhm.
And I remember, and they'll tell you, I would go to Family Dollar and buy the 8 packs of Reese cups when they was 8 for $1. Now they're like 6 for $1.50,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So 8 for $1, right? So basically, I'm like, if y'all sell these for 25 cents, you're gonna end up with $2.
Hmm.
I'm gonna invest $1, but y'all end up with two. They walk through Shenango Park and I'm telling all the business y'all. But where they had Reese cups and
Man, little hustler
yeah,
seeds.
anything that came in an 8 pack, they had. And they came back with their money to go wherever they wanted to go. I don't even remember, maybe the skating rink, but they hustled, and that's what they learned to do. Brennan had a paper route. They always had to work. If I had to work, they had to work. I didn't care
I
how
love it.
young they were. We in this together.
I love it.
Yes.
Hmm.
That's definitely more needed within our community because in order to build that generational wealth and to fulfill that gap, we have they have a head start on us.
Right.
It's been taught in families, and I think it's crucial and implemental for us to start teaching our generations the same thing.
Yeah, because we was raised up on that. I'm 49, he's 50.
Yeah.
So, our your generation and our generation was raised up on that. When it snowed, what was we doing?
We'll have a
Shoveling
shovel.
Yeah.
that snow to get some
Yeah.
money. In the summertime, we tried to, if we was privileged enough to get a lawnmower, we was using that to hustle to get some money. In the fall, we raked
Break
leaves,
leaves. Yeah.
Yes.
and like you said, we had a paper route. Was, small entrepreneurial things that we was raised up on,
Yes.
and somehow, some way, you know, generations we have gotten away from that. So for you saying that, that warms my heart, because some of us still do that. You know what I mean? And that's so much needed. Like you said, that's creating generational wealth into creating an entrepreneurial spirit.
Yes.
And that's
True
how you have
indeed.
to turn $1. I remember the older people telling me money don't grow on trees.
Yeah.
But it does if you
Yeah.
plant it in the right soil. And I didn't learn that till I was an adult, right?
Right.
Uh,
That's what compound interest and all those things are.
yeah.
So if I plant my $50 right here, it better be more than 50 though. $100,000 right here, God, you hear me? I need 100.
Yes.
So
Yes.
next year with the interest rate, it's going to have another
Interest.
$5,000 added
Yeah.
to it
Mm,
because the interest rate is like 5.25% on a
right.
CD. So nevertheless, we weren't taught that.
Mm-mm.
But what I was taught, and y'all know this, right? Chitty chitty bang bang, sitting on the fence,
Yeah.
trying to make a
All
dollar
out
out
of
of
15
15
cents.
cents.
Yeah.
Sense. Yep.
I took 15 cents and turned it into $1 with some Reese cups and told the kids to go do what you got to do. It works. You just got to
Yes.
work it.
Yes.
I don't think she was sitting on the fence selling Reese cups.
thought about it that way.
Yeah.
Right. I'll sip to that.
Yes, yes. So, well, now we get into one of the favorite parts of our show, the interview segment. And here at the Federal Podcast, we love to bring on phenomenal people. So
True indeed.
we'll do our due diligence with giving you your flowers and reading your so big long resume
Massive.
and continue to still grow.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I ask you in the audience out there to bear with me. I was always the Bible school student that got the short speech.
You were
When I used to
hilarious.
Sunday.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah,
apologize
yeah.
if I make any mistakes in advance. Okay. Dr. April Torrance serves as Chief Executive Officer and founder of Zion Educational Center in Farrell, Pennsylvania. She is instrumental in securing over $4 million in funding for
Cha-ching.
employment opportunity for socioeconomic devastated, disadvantaged families in Mercer County. She began her journey as in her skills developed in serving as a U.S. Treasurer for the Federal Reserve Bank in Pittsburgh and other various branches in Western Pennsylvania. Um, He specializes in business administration, human resource management, with a degree from Penn State, also Geneva College, and earning a master's of science in organizational leadership, um, and a doctorate in philosophy and management and leadership from Robert Morris College in 2015. Recognized for her outstanding contribution, Dr. Torrance was inducted into the Farrell Alumni Hall of Fame in 2018 and dedicated her childhood education and passion and educational extends her role as a business administrator professor at Westminster College. Her resume is massive.
Glad you stopped.
That's it goes it goes on, but we would like to welcome Dr. April L. Torrance to the Furl Podcast. Thank you. And I
Yes,
apologize about
yes,
any
yes,
miscues
yes,
or
No, you're
mistakes.
fine.
Like I
yes.
said, I was trying to surmise such a beautiful and long listed resume. Um, what first sparked your interest in changing your community through the development of education for the younger children?
I think in 1995, that is almost 30 years. 1995, I actually just wanted to have a transition from retail banking
Mhm,
into childcare. And at that time, my sister-in-law, Monica Avery, at the time, Monica Jefferson now,
mhm,
was doing that in her home. And I thought, okay, well, let me go ahead and be a family childcare provider. And I was pregnant with Tamara,
Mhm.
so I thought, okay, so I could be a stay-at-home mom, and that's what I did for a number of years. And then I had this that light went on, this epiphany, like, hey, why are you doing this? And it occurred to me that I needed to prepare students to transition to kindergarten with superior school readiness skills.
yes.
So
Mm.
that became my mission. So it wasn't just about being a stay-at-home mom or, a boss or CEO or anything like that. It became very mission driven. And so now when I see the outcomes of the students who have already graduated from pre-K, they've gone on to college. First one, I think, class of 2022, they had almost a $500,000 in scholarships, right? They all, most of them end up
Blessings.
being honor students,
Yes.
at the top of the class. The principals and the superintendents would say at kindergarten registration, we knew what students were coming in from Zion because there were just certain skill sets that they had. So that gave us a sense of purpose to continue striving to rebuild this community by rebuilding the minds of the children.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's start there. So,
That's beautiful.
and then lastly, I remember going into the classroom, and some of the young boys, they had the blocks. They had forts built up. There were walls, and
Wow.
they were like, "This is the museum," and they had police and security guards and zoo masters and if that's even a job. I don't even know, but like their minds were just out there. They're real innovative, and they're doing this with blocks. And I said the seeds are planted. If we could just continue to
Yes.
water this again, we could rebuild this community with this, upcoming generation.
Yes, ma'am.
Build on that. How do you approach talent acquisition and retention strategies within the company?
Oh, retention is huge right now, especially in education. As you read, like
Oh,
teachers are and educators are leaving the field. It is a very difficult time
Hmm.
with students. But up until COVID, I have been blessed with a great team, and I will always allow them to lead with their skill set. Like I don't micromanage.
hmm.
If I bring you in, then I'm going to coach you through and help you achieve your maximum potential. Like that's my goal, right? And I believe when you improve your retention, it's because you're listening to your staff and each of them have different needs. So I try to be flexible when it comes down to, things like benefits. Somebody may want healthcare, somebody might not need it.
Hmm.
They want more paid time off. So you're not being real rigid in structure about this is it. Do what I say what I
Yeah.
do, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You listen to your employees and those who serve and help you move forward with the mission and try to accommodate them at the beginning of their contract so that everything's in writing and do your best to keep a happy team. Like that's
Hmm.
I'm pretty freestyle when it comes down to leading. I'm not a pushover, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I can accommodate you as long as you collaborate with me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
True indeed. That's fair. I was always taught that you can lead by example and be an example to the people, and it's your responsibility to pass on all the knowledge that you attain
Mhm.
to make sure that that next generation is better off than what we were.
Absolutely. I heard someone say it would be better for me to train someone and they leave and get a better job than retain them and never train them.
Never train them.
Ooh,
Indeed.
That's a
yeah.
scary
Yeah.
place to be for
Yes.
the growth of your organization. And so I'm an AmeriCorps host site. So what I normally do is when students are in, I almost said children, when students are in college, especially those who have gone through Zion, I try to track them and stay in touch with them so that when they do enter college, they come home for the summer. I'm like, hey, I have an AmeriCorps position open for you to serve. You get your living allowance, you get your Ed Award. You can apply that to your tuition or
Uh huh.
books or what have you.
Hmm.
So you're investing back into their education. When they graduate from college, they might have a gap year. Who knows? But they know that there's a position available for them at Zion through AmeriCorps. So that's another way, I recruit my talent.
That's phenomenal,
That's
and
dope.
and it warms my heart to hear what you just said, and for me to really actually think about that. Now you receive kids like little kids come through, and then they went all the way through grade school, high school, and everything.
Yes.
Then to go to college for them to come back and be like, Miss April, dang, much love, and may God continue to bless you because the door for you to have the doors to still be open for them to come back and you provide a resource and a job for them. That may God continue to bless you for real, for real.
Yes.
It makes
Seriously.
my heart
Yeah,
warm. It
man,
really
that's
does.
great.
When I saw, looking at the football helmet, right? So when I saw Jamin and Trian on the front page of the paper,
Yes,
and I thought, okay, those are Zion scholars,
Students.
right? That was the class of 2022. So
wow.
them, my daughter Cynthia, and I believe Shantae Shonda Smith's daughter, like they're all entrepreneurs, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
They're in college, but they're entrepreneurs, and I mean that does something for me. That
yes,
that inspires me when I'm tired. Like, okay, this is what it's all about. This is what you wanted to see, and it's happening.
yes,
Yes.
Yeah. Shout out to Jamin and Tree and
yes.
Holden.
Shout out to James
Love you guys.
and at the thrift store downtown.
Oh
That's
yeah.
right.
Make sure
Check
y'all
them
check
out.
out the Holden's thrift store downtown, located on
Buy
East State
something.
Street.
Don't just check
Buy
them out,
some,
right?
True.
tap
True.
in.
True.
Yeah,
They
go in
got some nice
faithfully and
gear
buy.
down there.
Yeah,
They got.
nice gear.
Yeah.
Shoot, my
For
brother
sure.
Earl always go down there. Earl Martin's down there. My homeboy Lamont Hardis is down there shopping.
Oh yeah.
amongst other people in the communities down there shopping. Yeah, go down there and get your clothes on. Shoes, they have shoes too. So go in there and get your apparel for sure. And we spoke earlier before the show started. Uh, the Haddon House.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yes.
do you care to expound on that? Like before you get into it, like people to know that house was down there. It was dilapidated. It was dang near Gary to be condemned and knocked down.
Yeah.
And Miss April stepped in, and it is what it is today. I'll let her speak on that. But to ride by and look is beautiful.
Yes, yes, yes. God had really blessed us to receive the resources to renovate that house. And it got to the point where in 2018, when I moved to 602 Romer and then purchased that from Primary Health, I got tired of looking at the building, the house across the street with the busted windows. And I'm
Hmm.
thinking,
Yep.
this is not what I want our children to see every day when they leave Zion, because
Mm.
I don't want them to think that this is the norm and this is what a community
Supposed to
should
look.
look like
What's
every
that?
time they walk out the door.
So that was the inspiration. Yeah.
That was it.
Hey, just that simple.
And there was a conversation on the Farrell social media page one day about the Kolar homestead. And Dr. Kolar's family grew up there, the dentist.
Uh-huh.
And so I reached out to him and I said, hey, like, what are you guys going to do with the house? Because it looks pretty bad.
Right.
And within a matter of time, his son reached out to me and said he wanted to gift it to us. And
I seen it.
shout out to Jeff
Look at
Kolar,
God.
owner of the Lighthouse, JJ's Lighthouse, gifted us and gave us a check to, handle transfer fees and get started.
Uh-huh.
And from that point, then Keystone Stars AmeriCorps has another division, and it's called the House of Trades. They
Hmm.
actually built the house on the corner of Romer and Stanball
Stand
some
by.
years ago, right?
Okay, okay,
Part of
okay.
that mission as well,
Habitat
but
for Humanity.
same guy is still in
Yes.
charge, Reverend Libby Lunsford. He's amazing.
Yes, ma'am.
So they came in, he assessed what needs to be done from the outside to the inside. Started with the greenery and the landscaping at first, wanted to, get that cleaned up. Again, no charge. Then did the electrical stuff, found a brand new furnace for us, installed all of
Beautiful.
that, put all new windows in, the flooring, Pleasant Renovation did the flooring for us and the painting, but like there's a beautiful chandelier in there that Mavis Shannon donated. When you walk into that house, it looks like home,
Yeah.
right?
Lovely.
Um, Shout out to Diana Newby from New Beginnings and again Monica Jefferson who did all the decor inside. You're welcome to take a tour, but the message for that home was for our families at Zion to have a place to meet and talk to the teachers and talk to our family resource
Nice.
specialists in the time of and whatever challenges they might be having or that child may be struggling with social emotionally,
Mhm.
where they can get resources or meet with counselors or community service workers to get them through whatever challenges that they are facing. And so that's what we do at the Haddon House. There's a whole other level that we haven't tapped into yet because there's a bedroom upstairs that has beds for a family of four.
Uh-huh.
So if we have a family that has an emergency, whether it's a fire or something like that, we want to be able to get our license or a certificate to provide those emergency services to those
Super
families.
dope.
But
Beautiful.
we are not there yet. So the Haddon House, of course, is named after my mentor, the late great Superintendent W.G. Haddon, his lovely wife
Yes.
Hazel Haddon, my pastors of 10 years. So we wanted to name something of them or after them that was community driven because
Hmm.
he had the heart of the community, and it was a
Yes.
great honor to do that. So I'm excited about it. We just got a grant from Northwest Institute of Research, where the services that we provide here in Mercer County for families, now we're able to do the same thing for families in Venango County and Crawford County.
Nice.
So we send I go out and I might assess what the issues are, and we have our early childhood resource specialist that'll go out and meet with the teachers and coach them. So we're able to model Zion's philosophy in other child care facilities. So that was a long answer. I'm gonna stop talking.
No, no information.
No,
Like we
no.
need this information
We're
out
here to
there.
educate.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it. Educate,
It's-
inspire, and motivate. And that's what
yes.
you are feeding right into that. You are definitely inspiring, motivating, and definitely educating.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
for
Yes,
sure.
that's what it's all about.
Now, what are some of the fundamental things that an individual would have to have in mind to secure a business grant from the U.S. government? I know it's a lot.
So honestly, I cannot speak to the US government. I've
Gotcha.
never written a grant at the federal level.
Gotcha.
There's enough red tape at the local and
Yeah.
the state level,
Okay.
right? But fundamentally, people ask me all the time, can you show me how to write a grant?
Uh,
Just had a text last week. I can't show you because every grant proposal
it's different.
is different,
Yeah,
right?
that's what I was
So you
thinking.
can't just say, I need a grant to open up a small business to fund my tea shop, right? I've been to England. They drink a lot of tea. There's
See,
a lot of stuff,
mhm,
right? So, and I'm going to send that into Verizon?
Right,
It
right.
don't work. So you have to find a grant proposal first,
mhm,
right? Find out what they're asking for, find out what they need, and what they're requiring. And then you begin to write to those questions. And this is a different day and age. Everything is online. So you're putting your answers into their online system. It might say 2,000 characters. You have written 3,000
3,000.
characters.
Yeah.
Now you got to dumb it down without losing the content. So, I mean, that's the system of applying. But
Mm,
when it comes down to uploading those documents,
Yes, ma'am.
you may have wasted your time writing, right? So
wow.
some of them, if you're a nonprofit, they're going to be looking for your annual 990 to
Hmm.
show that you filed your tax filing and your reporting. If you are a for-profit, they're either going to look for your Schedule C if you are a sole proprietor. If you have an LLC, you should be filing a Schedule C with your tax return. In fact, you need to be filing a Schedule
Yes.
C with your tax return. It's one of the easiest profit and loss statements you could ever do. If you are a corporation, there's a Form 1120 you need to be filing. We're a partnership, my family business, so we file a 1065. I have to always upload 2 or 3 years. I had to do it for my COVID emergency disaster loan. I had to do it for when they did the 10,000 EIDLs, the advances, the PPP loans. You got to have your tax returns in place. So if you are a business,
Mhm.
I don't care who you have to pay and how much it may cost you, it will help you in the long run. You need to file your business tax returns. They're going to ask you to upload them every single time. You may have to upload other documents, such as to show that you have your EIN number with the IRS.
Hmm.
And, I always say, just like a baby needs a social security number and a name, your business needs an EIN number
Number.
and a name. Same concept.
Yes.
And then you file your reports. Other than that, everything is just contingent upon what they're asking in that proposal.
And availability of funds.
So unfortunately, right now you know, there have been complaints and lawsuits that have hit the Supreme Court that have really hurt funders who are investing into Black-owned businesses.
Uh-huh.
People have complained, they have filed lawsuits, and right now the tables have turned in their favor. However, um, when you see that there are grants out there specifically for you, you as a people, you got to take advantage of that. Normally, the availability is not the issue because they've set aside, like $1 million and 100 people or 1,000 people might get 10,000. I don't feel like doing mathematics right now,
Gotcha.
but however that works, because there are other Black-owned businesses that may not have done their tax returns, right?
Uh-huh.
So they're not even in the math, of availability. You're not even competing against them. So I have never, thank God, I have never been turned down from a Black-owned business
Mm.
grant, whether it was this one through the state of Pennsylvania, the one through PayPal. Those are the two that come to my mind right now. But if it's out there, go for it.
Yes. True indeed. Sort of similar to that old school commercial. Like you're just sitting here, you're not doing it. You're just sitting on the couch.
Dang.
You go ahead and
Yeah.
apply for it. It's a slight chance you might go ahead and get it.
It's
Yeah.
either yes or no.
Yep.
It's 50-50.
And
Yes or no.
that's always the one thing you. What's the worst that can happen? They say no. You move
Right.
on.
Right.
Try again.
And you keep your narrative. So whatever you wrote, copy and paste that in some kind of Word document,
Uh
email it to yourself, anything, so that when the next grant comes, all you have to do is copy and paste. You may need to tweak it a little bit, but
huh.
I'm coaching right now, so let me stop giving away coaching skills. I'm
No,
gonna do an
no.
invoice in a minute.
See the way the Pharaoh podcast bank account work. We got a savings and a check-ins.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Yes, yes. Um, how does your daughter get into, and how did you guys develop, and how did you help nurture that with her drink?
Okay, so baby
And
girl,
how did you guys come up with the name? What's in behind the name?
Niu.
Need you.
Niu is the Hawaiian word for coconut,
Mm,
and coconut water is her staple, and that's where she got her name.
okay.
Yeah. So, she was only 7, and that's when we were getting ready to move the academy to 753 Cedar Avenue. So we
Mhm.
had the Cedar Center there, yeah, right there, and then New Light Missionary Baptist Church merged with us. But they wanted a capital campaign to purchase the complex because I was actually renting it first from St. John Greek
Uh-huh.
Orthodox that was across the street.
Mm.
And so she did the first fundraiser, which was a lemonade stand. And Pastor Brian, he wanted sugar free. We made him some sugar free. It was disgusting. So so she put some, I'm gonna name the product because it's out of business. Like they don't even do it anymore. But it was V8 tropical pina colada or something.
Oh,
Mixed
okay.
that in there,
Mhm.
and it was lemonade with a kick. It was like
Yeah.
really good. And then she just started mixing flavors. And then we got that phone call from the USDA saying, "Hey, are you doing this in a commercial kitchen, or are you doing it in your kitchen?" And so, of course, the answer was it was in my
My
kitchen.
kids. Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna have to come out and inspect you, or you're gonna have to get
No.
a right. So, I say this to people all the time: when you cooking in your kitchen and you selling stuff, you really need to be low key because they will call you.
Yeah.
They will call
Whoa.
you.
Especially when you start doing
Wow.
numbers.
Exactly. And
Right.
then you end up on like she was on the front page all the time, which
Yeah.
is what, triggered the call. So
Hmm.
nevertheless, we ended up connecting with a manufacturer or a co-packer in Edison, New Jersey. And they started working with a chemist and doing our formulations for her.
Oh,
And,
Super dope.
it was a price tag, but we were getting grants to pay for this. So God really blessed us with the resources to keep going.
yes.
And, the rest was history.
It's great. That's great. That's, you see, another great success story. And here at the Furrow Podcast, we want to inspire, motivate, entertain, and educate.
Educate.
That's right.
Yes.
Trying to build this generational wealth and plant these seeds, y'all. Y'all
Yeah.
better tap
Because
on
Amen.
in. Yes, yes,
It's
yes.
possible. All things
yes,
are possible
there's always the saying to say, "I know He didn't bring us this far
to lead us.
to lead us here."
Right.
It's always about the
Absolutely.
advancement of our people
Yes.
and doing it through a positive perspective. We have a question that we usually ask. I'm gonna try to get it out of the way before we present you with your guest. If you can go back in a time machine and talk to your 16-year-old self, what would be some of the key things that you know now that you would tell yourself back then?
So, wow. I heard you ask Dee Dee Yarborough and Monica. I was like, Lord, she's 60. Somebody get me a fan. I don't even know if my 16-year-old self would listen, right? Okay. First of all, when I was 16, Kedron was on and popping, right?
Yes.
But it was at
Yep.
Kedron.
I grew up in
Yep.
Steel City. Yes, yes, sir.
Yes.
I was there.
I spent most of my time in Steel City. If I wasn't at Kedron, I was at a
Hmm.
house party, right? So that was but I was an honor student, so I had a
Okay.
healthy
You
balance.
balanced out.
I didn't
Right.
have self-esteem back then. I didn't even know what self-esteem was at the age of 16. I was cheerleader, driven by popularity, lots of attention, just wasn't focused on my goals. I knew I wanted to one day own wanted to have the first black accounting firm in Farrell. Like I thought
Oh,
about that,
Uh-huh.
but I never put anything into practice to do that. Didn't even go to college after school. But I will say this. I would tell my 16-year-old self the three things that I had mentioned earlier. So first of all, you can't be what you can't see. And so if I was going to be an accountant, I needed to surround myself with accountants, right?
hmm,
So nevertheless, my best friend is a full-time tenure accounting professor at Coastal Carolina. So I can live it through her. She's amazing. She's a great business coach as well. So I have that now. The second thing is, as I said earlier, you don't know where you don't go.
Hmm.
And if you stick around in this little city your entire life, you'll be limited to YouTube videos, right? You
yeah.
got to get out of here. You got to see the world. I had never been to another continent before, so to be in Europe, in England, just showed me a whole new world. You walk into the building and thinking you're on the main floor, and you go down three more flights, and there's a business, and then you might go out the door three floors down, and you're in a backyard. What is
Well,
Right, right, right.
the land down under was in Australia. So, but it allowed, that allowed me to see different infrastructures and the way you could set up things and build.
uh-huh.
Um, so of course, my 16-year-old self, all I did was go to Kedron. I could tell you was there, but not on this show. Nevertheless. And the last thing is, you can't try what you don't buy. And I was limited to coffee in England, and my girlfriend was like, try a French press. I'm like, what is that? I just want my Keurig.
Hmm.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And so she found one. She showed me how to use it. I'm like, dang, I'm getting me one of these, right? But again, I would have never bought a
Hmm.
French press
Hmm.
if I hadn't have tried a French press.
That's right.
And so it's beyond $1. Like, of course, if I go shopping, if a dress is expensive, I'm gonna try it on first, right, before I buy it.
Right.
Yeah.
But what about in the mind? Like, I would tell my 16-year-old self, try a new idea, buy into it,
I into it.
right?
Yes.
We tell the
Yes.
people, try Jesus, buy into it. Like them two little girls, try something, right? Buy into somebody else's idea. Do something.
Yes.
Get up out of here. Go
Hmm.
somewhere, try something, and see something. Change your whole mindset.
Yeah. I'm definitely from the perspective that I always say, if an individual can see something tangible, if you can see somebody else doing it
Hmm.
and they look like you, it's
That part.
more success in that than seeing somebody else doing
Yep.
it. And you gotta expand your boundaries and expand your palette in life and accept some of the things that are different and learn how to maneuver around all of that.
That's
Hey,
right. Power to the people. When you see me,
hey.
you
You
see
see
you.
you.
That's
Yes,
right.
sir.
And did you care to expound about your trip to London? Yeah, we would love to hear about that. Was it business or half and half business, sightseeing, and a check off of the
Mhm.
box or something that I want?
Yeah, I didn't tell you guys this, but so when we were talking about the shipping containers,
Uh-huh.
I had reached out to again my best friend, Dr. Darlene Booth Bell, and we wanted to survey the entrepreneurs in the city of Fairlawn and Sharon to see what their business needs were,
Uh-huh.
and if we were going to apply for this grant, which we did and we didn't get through Steel City Enterprise, which was to build um, a shipping container complex on MLK. Bottom half would be entrepreneur space and retail space.
Hmm.
Nice.
Up half would be living quarters so that single family entrepreneurs could actually work downstairs,
And go
live
upstairs.
upstairs, and pay one price, right?
That's
So that was
awesome.
the motto.
Yes.
We
Wow.
didn't get the grant because we didn't have match funds, but the city endorsed it and I was excited about it and hopefully we'll apply again. But we got all this research and we did the surveys and assessed the needs so that we could move further and having some sort of tangible outcome to prevent to present to investors and any other grants. So she actually compiled all the data and assess the needs. And most of the entrepreneurs, they needed capital, they needed cash flow, they needed help with websites, they needed help with marketing. It's just all these different needs. And then she took a specific sample and focus on Black women owned businesses. Submitted it to Bath University in England. And out of 2,000 papers, we were one of the papers that were
Accepted.
accepted.
Look at God.
Beautiful.
And so I did the literature, the lit review, and she did a lot. Her husband, Reggie Bell, did some of the paperwork as well, or not the research paper, not paperwork. But so we presented that, and when I tell you, I sat in that university and to see the map of Farrell on the screen in England,
England.
Yeah,
right?
Oh, where's that? Yeah, man.
yeah, yeah, man.
And those entrepreneurs that completed that survey, you know who you are, thank you. But we were represented and it was shown to educators from all over the globe. They were from everywhere,
That's what I'm
right?
talking about.
And so we want to continue on with that because the needs were, we're looking at this endogenous theory that I'm learning more about,
Hmm.
but it's expanding long term economic growth in social economically disadvantaged communities.
Uh-huh.
So it's taking a look at growing our economy with advances in technology here in town,
Sweet.
with expanding human capital. So that means educating and getting more resources in for those entrepreneurs. So, do we need a business incubator here? Sure, there's one in
Yes.
Hermitage, there's one in Sharon, but we need
Right
representation,
here.
incubation.
Yes.
Yes.
And those who are incubated, they need accelerated. So, we need that skill base, we need the resources, and that's what we hope to accomplish from this research paper. Yep, and apply for more grants and
Yes.
get those shipping containers
Yes.
up and running and living.
Yes.
Yes,
That's dope.
yes.
Yes.
You know the song. Everywhere we go,
Everywhere we go,
people want to know
people want to know
who we are.
who we are.
So we tell them,
So we tell them,
you try to steal us. We don't feel high in the building. Yes. I was in London, y'all. In England.
Give me my pom poms. Oh my
That was not offensive,
goodness.
but pip pip cheering out.
where from?
Rail is over in Rail is over in England, Mike.
We out here in these streets. And
Oh my
as
goodness.
always, everyone that comes on, we have a lovely gift for all our guests that come in, because we do Zoom guests too, but we always prefer for people to come in house. But we understand if you can't make it.
Oh.
For the ones that make it, we always have special gifts.
Right now, this is kind of heavy.
I wanted to pass it gently, but in
Okay.
classic Monty form, we have it in our recycled green podcast bag.
Biodegradable.
Yes,
Hey.
we try to stay green as possible.
That's right.
Yes,
Thank you.
of course the podcast shirt.
And y'all know I walk, so I'll be walking with my shirt on and representing the podcast.
And we
All
got a couple
right.
of keychains up in there.
Oh yeah,
All right, cool.
We got one for you and your husband up in there, but here's for the girls.
yes,
Okay, so my husband's in here because my
Yep,
husband
yep, yep. He has a
loves
keychain in there, and you
these.
have a keychain in there, and
Good.
that's for the girls.
Okay.
And fam, we gotta send one out to Arizona.
yeah.
Yeah,
Send one
man.
out to. We ain't forget about you. Thank
They
you for
might be
tuning into the
earrings.
show tomorrow. Thank you for tuning into the show.
Did you hear what she
Oh,
said?
fam.
She said that might be her earrings.
Matter of fact, they don't have them. You know what? Uh, I send y'all my love. Have some extra ones. Have some extra ones. And then yes, you can convert
Thank
those into earrings
you.
as well.
Thank
That's
you.
that's that's resourceful.
My husband's a truck driver, so he's gonna appreciate the keychains. He has lots of keys.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And you are the epitome. I always say it every time, and it's a hip hop quotable that I got from Jay-Z, and it goes power to the people. When you see me, you see
See
you.
you.
But
Yes.
from this interview today, you are the epitome
Epitome.
of that.
Yes.
And now I see that I'm gonna have to take that quotable and make that a shirt. I'll let you know when I got it for you. Cause that's you.
Thank you.
Power
Thank
to the
you.
people. When you see me, you
You
see
see
you.
you.
You are the epitome of that.
The main purpose of the podcast when
Truthfully.
Martin developed it and brought it to our attention was to highlight the individuals that make a direct impact and show our future positive way because it's almost a negative stereotype connotation is still associated
Right.
with Pharaoh.
Right.
That's what you mainly see in the media. If it's not sports, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be
Right.
negative.
Right.
We just want to thank you for all that you do for the community, not just for the youngins, but for us too.
Yes.
Because sometimes, as my man Mar says, it takes a village to raise adults also.
Yes. We do
Um,
need our
and it's
village.
always a blessing to learn something new every day. Like I said, I was enamored by the way you had the idea for the. I never thought of anything like that. Take a shipping container, make it a house or a business establishment, and then all of a sudden, after you brought it to my attention years later, I think it was like 2018 or 2019. I seen down in Chilron, South Carolina, that's our home city. They had a cargo container Chick-fil-A.
Yep. 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 Yep.
I said, that is dope, man. Like,
Yep.
Yep.
and franchise's license is not that much because most of my adult life, my profession has been cooking. Since I was basically 15, I've been cooking, and that's one of my skills. And my mom always told me if it was something you love doing, it's not a job, it's a career.
That's right.
Um,
And you'll never work a day in your life.
no, not a day in your life.
Hmm.
So you don't mind putting in the extra time to hone your craft when it comes to music, the podcast. But we see and are inspired by everything that you do for the community. And we're hoping to make an impact. We thank you for everything you contribute to the community of Farrell. And thank you
Thank
for
you.
being a guest on the podcast.
Thank you. So the next
Yes.
grant opportunity I hear about, I'll let y'all know.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really
Share
appreciate
the
you.
information or have me back on and I'll share the information. But
Thank you.
start getting your taxes in order. You got to get your paperwork in
Yes,
order. Yes.
definite.
Hmm.
Thank you for the knowledge. Knowledge reigns supreme. Almost everyone. One of my favorite rappers of all time, KRS-One, by the
Yes.
way. And that's our job here is to teach the next generation because each one teach one. And we like to thank you again for coming on and being a part of the show.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. And that will conclude episode 10 and season 2 of the Pharaoh podcast with the Miss Ever so Miss Lovely, Miss April, the doctor.
Doctor, doctor,
Put
hey,
no
bro.
respect on that. Dr. T. Dr. April Torrence.
Sure.
Thank you guys for tuning in this week. And always make sure you subscribe, like, and share. And we will have the rewatch posted up on Facebook. Share that with a friend
Yes,
so people can tap in and keep tuning in and be fed every week because we come to feed you every week with good, knowledgeable, resourceful gems. You know what I mean? Power to the people. When you see us, you see
see
you.
you.
Yes.
Much love from the Furrow Podcast.
Yes, sir. And we out. And as we always say, thank you. Good night. God bless. One.
Peace.